Hey gorgeous, thank you so much for clicking on this video. My name's Amy if we've not met before, and today we're going to be talking about Caudex plants, which have like really quickly become an absolute favourite in my collection. I love them. I think I got my first one probably like summer last year, but over the course of this year I've really added to my collection and I love them. I love the weird shapes that they can grow and the way they sprout their little leaves, like bliss. I love it. So in this video, I'm going to show you all of the Caudexes that I have. Caudexes? Apparently I have 19. Wasn't aware that I had that many. And I'll try and talk through a little bit about how I care for each one as I talk about it, but I also don't want this video to be like really long, and apparently I have 19 plants to talk to you about today. Okay, let's just get into the plants. I'm really excited to show you some of these weirdos. Okay, this first one is definitely my biggest. Oh my god, that fly is huge. Problem with having the windows open. This is my Ponytail aquatica, also known as the money plant. I've had this one for quite a while. It has got like a little disco ball hanging on it. I do really enjoy this plant. I love the shape of its leaves. I would actually really love to get like one of those really big ones that have the plaited trunks and then unplait them. Caitlin from Really Big Plant did that, and it just, the structure of the trunk when it's been unplaited just looks so freaking cool, and yeah, I would really love that. But for now, I have this guy with its fat trunk and all of its leaves. This one grows really well. I haven't actually repotted it since I bought it, so it's still in its original pot. I was really worried about this one rotting because of the big trunk, but what I've realised is the leaves of these plants, like all of these plants, tell you a lot about when they need to be watered. So they're actually quite vocal. These leaves will droop slightly, just ever so slightly, and I will know that it needs a bit of a drink. But yeah, that's the first one. Okay, this next one I actually got at the another plant swap, the Bristol one from last year, so the one that was in August on a really hot day. I can't remember what I swapped it for, but this is, the common name is an ant plant, and the botanical name, I think, is Hydnophytum papuanum. I don't know. Maybe that might be the common name. This one's got really succulent leaves. These ones at the top are new, and as you can see, these ones down here are dusty and old. It's kind of growing at a little bit of a wonk. I don't know if that's because it's reaching for light. I'm not completely sure. But this plant gets called the ant plant because this is actually a hollow Caudex, and inside there's lots of like little tunnels and I don't really know what you'd call them. Crevices? I don't think that's the right word either, but basically in the wild, this plant will live symbiotically with ants, and the ants can live inside the Caudex, which is very cool. So yeah, there's that one. This next one is one that I bought and realised it didn't have any roots after I bought it, which is absolutely fine. Like, I'm not worried about it, but it still doesn't have any roots. So I might sit it in some water because being sat on some soil obviously isn't doing anything for it. Anyway, it's the Jatropha podogrica? Greca? I don't know. Obviously it's not looking its best. It's still very firm, so that's good. It has got like a little teeny weeny leaf at the top, and then a dead one, and all of these weird little spiky bits. These, when they grow, they are beautiful. I really do hope it, I really do hope, is that the, what? I really do hope it does grow. Why does that sound wrong? I hope it grows. They are really cute when they do grow. I didn't talk about the care with the last two, did I? So the ant plant, I just chuck some water in it every now and then. It probably needs more water than I give it. And the Jatropha, I'm not caring for it because it has nothing. I'm just waiting for it to grow some leaves. But I think I will put it in a little tiny shallow puddle of water and see if that helps with root growth. Okay, this is the next one I want to talk to you about, and this is one that I'm not 100% words. I'm not 100% sure if this one is actually considered a Caudex because it's kind of more of a bulb, but I wanted to include it because in my head I kind of think of it as a Caudex. Good grief, you can see how algae ridden this is. I love, 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 love the fuzziness of the leaves. This one is, I need to read it off the paper in front of me. This one is a Hemanthus pulsilifolius. No idea if I said that anywhere nearly correct, but it's so fuzzy. These leaves are just so soft. I love it. This is the only leaf that it's put out for me in my care. I did buy it with two, but one of them died off